This is the Chinese generator, and with the Chinese engine in it, mounted to my truck. As you can see, there's a Transit Mark V. Right, let's have a look what's wrong with this. So, there's the Chinese engine. I haven't got a light with me today, so I apologise for the darkness and the dogs barking. Okay, so one of the problems was this control panel. In this control panel, which was completely different, you'd got most of these components, but two of the gauges were actually on what they call thermocouples, and somebody had cut the cables that go to the sensors, which you can't replace without replacing the entire gauge. So the biggest problem with this engine was, when I got it, it didn't have that rain flap on the roof, and that's over the top of the exhaust. So the exhaust system filled completely with water, filled the exhaust manifold with water and all the cylinders with water, and it all seeped through and went all into the sump and filled the sump with water. So 90% of this engine was rusted. The injectors, which are there, they were covered in rust at the tip, because I have had this engine apart before, and I've just put it back together so that I knew where everything went, because I was originally planning on getting this engine running again, but I'm not going to bother now. I am going to take, I'll show you if I can show you. There's an alternator down there, a big 3-phase alternator. I'm going to part that, split it from the engine, which is here. I'll take all these bolts out here and split these two components. I will leave the 3-phase alternator in and just take this engine out, because that engine's got more problems and is reasonable to fix. Let's go around the other side. Right, while we're around the back, there is a grill to let air in or out to cool the engine. These grills don't really do anything. They are, pardon the van, they are blocked out at the back, as far as I'm aware. So let's have a look inside this one. Right, this side's got 2 doors, so I can let a little bit more light in. So there's the alternator. As far as I'm aware, that is just a big 3-phase motor, but instead of being driven by power, it's being driven the other way round. It's being driven by the engine and creating power. Apologies for the traffic going by. If I have to stop talking, I will. So all the components have had the labels either cut off or ground off or rusted away. But I think that starter motor is a 24 volt, and I think that alternator is also a 24 volt. So we get to the point where I'm thinking, is it worth getting this engine running? Because I'm going to have to buy a new alternator, new starter motor, probably new injectors, and the head's cracked as well, I found. I don't know why I bothered putting it back together, because the head's cracked. So to get this engine running, I'd have to buy a new head, new injectors, new starter motor, new alternator. It's a pain trying to find filters and things for this, gaskets and everything for this. It's an absolute nightmare. Yes, it has got a turbo, but I don't know what kind of turbo that is. It just says Fute Air on it, or Fute Air on it. The actual label behind there is gone. Pardon the traffic. Also, it's been sat so long that the radiator is absolutely blocked up with stuff, and I don't know whether the radiator's actually rusted away at the bottom. There's a drain valve here. Let's see if I can get it in shot. Yeah, there's a drain valve there, but no matter what you do with it, water does not come out. Oh, maybe it does. But that radiator is absolutely full of water to the top, and it's only letting little dribbles out when I move the... And you can't turn that all the way around because the pipe's in the way. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun. Obviously I bodged, this pipe is off a BMW 318 IS. I bodged that on just to fill the radiator with water to see if it will hold, but that's not the right pipe. It's got a kink in it, so it's never gonna work properly. That pipe again is off a BMW, the black one. That's got a kink in it, so that's not going to really flow right. This exhaust box is probably full of water and completely rusted away inside, so I might as well take that out. So that leaves me with the choice. I can then take this engine out, which is really heavy and not very powerful, pardon the traffic. It's probably more economical now to take this engine out completely and replace it with that transit van engine, because this engine's got that many problems and the parts are really hard to get hold of. It's not worth doing this up. To me, it's not worth doing this up. I think I'm just going to swap it. For all of you that want to know, this engine is a 3.2. Bear with me while this van goes by. You know, that's just typical with this street. Not one vehicle has been passed all day. And as soon as I come out to do a video, it's like Grand Central Station out here. It's exactly the same as soon as I bring a spanner out. So yeah, let me just shut this up and go around the other side so that I don't get run over. Let me shut this cabinet up. Bear with me, step over the trailer. So yeah, this engine is a 3.2 turbo diesel. There's a fuel pump. So another thing is, I've tried priming it, but I mean, they're cracked. The injector unions are cracked. And I've held the fuel lever over in both directions. Tried priming it, but I'm still not getting diesel. I don't know whether I've got to either crank it, but I'm not bothered anymore. So yeah, specifications for this engine. Like I said, it's a 3.2 turbo diesel. The brand, I think, is now Weifang. It used to be Ricardo, which was an English company, but they've sold all the parts and ideas to China, and China are making them now. It is a K4100ZD, and the Z stands for turbocharged. Okay, so I am not going to do anything to this engine today because the weather's too poor. As soon as I get the spanners out, it's going to rain, I can guarantee it. But what I will do, I'll be taking this engine completely out of this cabinet, putting a transit engine in that you've seen, and we should have a working generator then. See you later.